See, I am making a point now. Let's look at where critics are out of touch with what the audience thinks about a movie. In front of you is Nostalgia Critic, who I'm not a fan of, and he points out something that's very important. Here he is looking at the tomato meter and the audience score, and he's wondering how the heck the critics gets this wrong. They obviously got this movie wrong because Hook in 1991 earned $300,854,823 off of a $70 million budget. In other words, $140 million is all you needed to break even. It made a whole boatload of money, okay? And therefore that means that a boatload of people like this movie. So 76% was legit that people liked it. 730 users actually commented on the movie, okay? In fact, one audience member says this. That's a super review. The only movie about Peter Pan that I liked, Lucas Martin's. Okay? So, quite frankly, the critics got this movie wrong. Okay? They got it wrong because a lot of people liked it. The critics were saying how it was, okay, let's look at it here. Critic consensus. The look of the Hook is lively indeed, but Steven Spielberg directs on autopilot here, giving in too quickly to his sentimental, syrupy qualities. What the heck does that mean? And then on top of that, what kind of movie is this? This movie is a action-adventure, kids and family, science fiction and fantasy. Okay? So, apparently, people liked the movie. Because you got a huge dichotomy between critics. They actually did not seem to relate to the people who actually liked this movie. So the critics had it 4.4 out of 10, whereas the people had it 6.6 out of 10. Okay? Just a difference in how the people felt about the movie and how the critics felt about the movie. And it's just what it is. By the way, it had a boatload of people like Carrie Fisher, Dustin Hoffman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Julia Roberts, and Robin Williams. Okay? Here's another one. Warcraft. It just happened last year. Critics had Warcraft at 28%, whereas 71% of the people liked Warcraft. Here's the thing. Warcraft is a movie that's, again, an action-adventure, science fiction, and fantasy. Warcraft is built off of a video game. So they may give some life and a little flush out to the video game, but at the end of the day, you expect Warcraft to have action. You expect Warcraft to be give probably a little background into the different characters in the video game, but you don't expect Warcraft to be an Academy Award mentally stimulating movie. You don't expect that. People are not going to see that. They're going to see the different characters in their video game operate. So the critics just missed the boat on this one. And here's what the critics had to say. Warcraft has visual thrills to spare, but they are, and director Duncan Jones' distinctive gifts are wasted on a sluggish and derivative adaptation of a best-selling game with little evidence of cinematic value. Again, the critics just totally missed the boat on this movie. The movie is based on a video game. If it's based on a video game, why do you expect it to be something which will have a whole lot of cinematic value? Why? And so this Rotten Tomatoes is not up to speed with what people like, or what people are going to see, or what they expect. And so, as a result of that, what do we have? We have a box office success. 132 million is what it needed to break even. It made 433,677,183, which is 110 and more, maybe 111 million more than what it needed to make, okay, to break even. It was a success. Why? Because the critics missed the boat on it. Here's another one, another huge one, and that was it last year. Now, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, came out in 1993. The critics again missed the boat on this. 46% rotten by critics. Now it says here people didn't like it either, but that's not true. In fact, if you look, it's 33,203,632 people actually rated this movie. But anyway, that's besides the point. Here is what kind of movie it is. It's an action-adventure comedy. It's an action-adventure comedy. Comedy being the key word. Is the movie funny? Okay? That's what drove the movie. I watched Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I laughed my butt off. Okay. Owen Gleiberman says, Carrie suggests an escaped mental patient impersonating a game show host. Yes, of course. Why do you think? He rates it an F, right? Carrie's comic language is made up of accent marks, not characters. Instead of inhabiting a scene, he swallows it up and spits it out in manic doodles. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a comedy. What do you expect? So, the critics just completely missed the boat on this. It's certainly not difficult to see why Carrie was almost immediately launched into superstardom after its 1994 release. This is somebody commenting in 2017. Okay. So you see the people. The fans are just cracking up over this movie, so just forget about it. Lace is out. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Ah! You remember this silly movie? Alright. The movie is obviously over the top funny. That's the point behind the movie. And Jim Carrey made this movie. He really did. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. The critics so got this movie wrong in 1993. And the jokey thing is, this movie made a gigaton of money. Okay, it made a gigaton of money. Okay, it made almost 8 times as much money as its budget. Okay, it had to make 30 million to break even. It made 107 million overall. So for those people who don't understand, critics, they sometimes get it right, but they also sometimes get it miserably wrong. And the reason why critics do that is because they're always in this brick house of criteria that makes a film great. They don't understand that you have to look at the story of the film. Now, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective didn't have much of a story. It was a comedy. So the film was carried on the comedy of Jim Carrey. The major character in this thing was the detective who was played by Jim Carrey. So it's unconventional in that it has no story, except this guy's following the trail to find out where this dolphin, who kidnapped the dolphin, so that, you know, this, and he finds out the reason why they did it, the motive, and then he finds out who they are, okay, who turns out to be a man playing a woman, right? And that was funny. So at the end of the day, as ludicrous as that story was, and as out there as it was, that was the point of it. And it scored heavily with everybody out there. Even to this day, when I look at Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, which I thought was the launching out of Jim Carrey for real, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But critics, once again, they continuously miss the boat on avant-garde things, unconventional things, things which are visionary. They miss the boat on these things. Alright? And it doesn't help the situation when you're in a caustic, very, very poisonous environment where people are hurling vitriol at a certain director, or he's fallen out of favor with people for some reason. It doesn't help the situation. And the whole point behind me putting out these videos, and I know of classics, Alfred Hitchcock's, oh my God, When You're Afraid of Heights, what's that called? You're Afraid of Heights, or you get dizzy. Vertigo. Yes, Vertigo. When you see Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, did you know Alfred Hitchcock went to his grave thinking that that movie was crap? Because the kind of vitriol that went against that movie, how Alfred Hitchcock had done a bunch of crap, right? He lived for the remaining portion of his life thinking that Vertigo was a bad movie. And now, many years after his death, it's a classic. And I'm just saying to you guys this. Do not let a bunch of people who are narrow-minded, can't see, they're not visionaries, they can't understand. Do not let those people stop you, one, from appreciating stuff where you see good vision in something. And two, do not ever let them stop you from continuing to put out their good material. Alright? The critics were horribly wrong on all these movies, including Warcraft, which still, to this day, people say is a poor movie. But it actually stayed true to the video game. Think about what I'm saying. A movie based on a video game? Like, do you really expect Transformers to be this great movie, this grandiose epic? It's never going to happen. Why? It's based on characters who play things in the real world, but they're not. And basically they transform. That's all it is. So when Michael Bay actually adds some skin and substance and story to the movie, The Last Night and stuff, he actually add more to Transformers than less. I'm just saying. Now, I don't say that Transformers, the animated movie, is not good. But what are you expecting from Transformers? Really, what are you expecting when you go to the cinema to see them? Action, right? It's an action movie. Fantasy and science fiction, that's about it. Anything else is a plus. When you talk about Superman, however, Batman, however, Wonder Woman, however, and other superheroes, there is more depth to those movies. So that's why Transformers will continue to do well as a franchise. Because the franchise is built on something that has limited constraints. You can't have these lofty expectations of Transformers, even though Michael Bay is trying. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can't be very, very lofty with Transformers. It is what it is. There's a limit to what you can do with comic book movies. Right? You know, Zack Snyder, he made Flesh and Blood Superman. He made him real to the world, and I love that. But still, of course, the movie is still a fantasy. It's still science fiction fantasy, right? It may be an action drama, and it may teach some really good lessons, but at the end of the day, it's just a fantasy film. As realistic as it gets to be, because Batman v Superman was a pretty realistic film. I mean, you know, of course, they don't have Superman can't fly and he got superpowers, but Zack Snyder made you believe, you know, that he could actually fly off the ground using a sort of a metaphysical kind of psychic sort of energy to defy gravity, electromagnetic psychic energy, right? So I mean, they got real sci-fi-ish with Superman, man. It's such a dope film. But my point anyway is that at the end of the day, as much as people may hate on something, you must be able to be your own person. Not hate them for it. Let their hate pay consequence to them. But understand the balance. That critics are not always right. And a lot of times they get things wrong because they can't see what the audience sees. Alright? So don't be mad at them. And do understand the professional critic today, he's more like a hand for hire. You know, he gets paid by agencies to do certain things. He feels that to keep his job, he needs to stay with the status quo. There are a few really gutsy writers out there who really speak what they mean and stop playing politics with Hollywood and with the industry, because they feel they'll lose their license and they'll be, you know, isolated from everything. But when you can stand up on your own 2 feet and give an assessment as you see it properly, that's a great thing. Kudos to the guy who called out Ghostbusters. And he thought it wasn't all that. Now, he could have been a lot more polite in how he said it, but at the same time, it took some gall to do that. Me personally, I don't think Wonder Woman is the greatest movie of all time, comic book movie of all time. Absolutely not. I think that the people on Rotten Tomatoes rating it at 94 or 93%, meaning 94 or 93% of the critics like it. That's cool because it actually echoes what the audience thinks. Most people will look at this movie and think it's a good movie. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be real with you. It's nowhere in the class of Batman v Superman for me as a person. Man of Steel and it, I think they're neck and neck. The only difference is Man of Steel, because of the breaking of the neck of General Zod. That's the only thing I think that kind of takes away from Man of Steel for a lot of people. And a lot of people feel that Superman is a killer because of that for some reason. It doesn't make any sense to me. But for me, the losing point was not exactly that he broke his neck. I didn't have a problem with that. It wasn't even how he broke his neck. It's just how they executed it. I think some people have a problem with just the execution as well with Batman v Superman, where Superman says, "You're letting him save Martha. Kill Martha," or something like that. And I can kind of hear them, but not really. Because for me, I was already invested in Batman. I thought he was really going to kill Superman anyway. So I was like, even though it was a little bit awkward for me, I was just like, I wasn't even studying that. I was like, what the heck is Batman going to do? Is he going to kill him? Is he going to kill him? And he paused just long enough, and he started saying, why did you say that name? And he flashed back and everything. So I was really not in that. I was like totally into this thing. I was kind of scared because Batman seemed like a villain. I was like, which way is Batman? Is he a villain? Is he a good guy? What's going to happen? He going to kill Superman? Really? You going to kill Superman? Oh my God! Is he really going? What kind of movie is this? Like I was right now. I was at the edge myself. So I really didn't have time for that. And I told you I saw this movie 10 times. Batman v Superman I saw 10 times. I couldn't get over it because it was quite a roller coaster for me. It was quite an experience for me. So I don't know about the other people. See, I go with a story. I go with whatever you give me. That's what I do. So I really, when I went into the movie, I may have expectations and stuff, but when the credits started rolling, I was like, let me hear what the story got to say, and that was it. I was in, And I think that's how the average moviegoer is. They go with whatever the story says, or if you got to actively figure it out. So you like sometimes you're in one set and you're like, what's going on here? Okay, all right, so okay, I kind of like this film. I got to figure out what's going on. Okay, cool. And I'm at the edge of my seat. I'm not even sitting back anymore. I'm at the edge of my seat taking in the story. And I'm like, okay, where are we going here? Where are you taking us? Let me see if I can figure it out. I know Lex Luthor's the bad guy, but how? What's he gonna do? Well, this guy looks like a clown. Okay, I don't really like him, but all right, let's see what's gonna happen. See, that's how I think. I'm constantly and actively thinking as I watch through a movie. I don't like sitting back and just being a zombie and just taking in a movie. Even now, I'm actively doing a video. See, I like to be active. I like to be thinking while I'm doing things. I don't like to have my brain just shutting down there unless I need a cool down. And then I get a cool down movie for that. But Batman v Superman, I was in it, man. I was in it. I was like, yeah, okay, what's going on here? Okay. Ooh. I jumped when Batman got the nightmare and stuff, and I was like, who's that sitting next to him? I was very actively thinking through the movie, but I wasn't judging the movie. I wasn't like, that's crap, that's good, that's bad. I wasn't there. I was like, what's going on here? Because I was already into the movie from the beginning. When I saw little Bruce Wayne running away from Alfred, and he was like, Bruce! I was like, okay, what's fall is falling? What that mean? What's fall is falling? Okay, little Bruce, and then you see him, flashback, and he's coming through the city, with he's happy, his mom, dad, stuff, I love the different angles. And I'm watching it like, oh, what's that there on the corner? Is that a train? And I'm, that's how I do with movies, Now, smart, snarky people, they'd be like, that don't make sense, and that don't make sense. If it don't make sense to me, I'll be like, that don't make sense. Let me see if they're going to explain it later on, because I need to know. I'll keep that in a log in the back there, clack, clack, and I keep on watching so I can fit things together, because I realize it's more like a puzzle here. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, that didn't make no sense. Okay, hold on. That's how when I'm watching a movie, I'm watching it, I'm processing, but I'm also watching the movie. Because I know with Batman v Superman, I had to watch that movie a couple times, man. I had to watch it a couple times. Like with the guy who just appeared out of the clear blue sky to Bruce Wayne, after his nightmare scene. And I didn't know that. I was trying to figure out, is that the Flash? Who is that? It was like, blah, 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 blah. Blah, something the key. That's all I do. The first view, and I was like confused a little bit, but I was like, was that the Flash? What was that? Then I went back, did my homework, did my research, and then I went back into the cinema to see it. That's hey, look, man, Zack Snyder makes it so that it's interesting. He got you thinking, he got you busy, he got you on the edge, he got you thinking about things. I like that. That's called active viewing. And when you're actively reading, you're not just sitting down there and reading, domestic total gross 72, what is that number? 72, no, you're actively reading. So the domestic total gross is 72,217,396. That's how much it made in the United States. That's pretty good for a comedy. You know what I'm saying? Because you're processing. That's how you make videos. That's why I can make videos like this. Because I'm actively processing as I'm making the video. Believe me, sometimes it can be draining because, like right now, I'm making this video here. I'm thinking about 100 million different things that I have to do afterwards. And I got to think about the next slide that I'm going to put up in this video. because I'm doing all of this in real time. But it makes you alert. It makes you think. It makes you sharp. And that's awesome. That's what it's all about. You shouldn't be watching a movie and going to sleep on it because everything's being given to you and you go, blah, 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 blah. No, you're not a drunken person, man. Wonder Woman made you feel what it wanted you to feel. Movies, look, man, you should be able to decide what you want to feel in this world. You must decide if you want to cry. You shouldn't be reactionary to things. You should be able to initiate things. But Patty Jenkins did a nice formula, though. She did a nice formula, and I like the little potions. Basically, Wonder Woman made you feel things, and that's why people loved Wonder Woman. That's it. Bottom line, right? And they could follow the movie, right? Batman v Superman was much more cerebral. And I think a lot of people said that. They said that Civil War was more about feelings and Batman v Superman was more about thinking. It was a thinking film, you know? I like Zack Snyder's stuff, though. I really do. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys anyway. You know, Batman v Superman, 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. Blow it up on the box office. And I think it's 65% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. The audience likes it. That's cool. Suicide Squad was a movie with the least amount of story, but lots of characters, lots of personality. The characters, a lot of personality in the characters. I think Warner Bros. Does an excellent job of creating these interesting personalities. And that's really the strong point of Suicide Squad. Anybody will tell you. The Suicide Squad itself was awesome. The movie itself was meh. It was mundane, ordinary, more or less. With Wonder Woman, they mixed a pretty interesting story with pretty interesting characters. Characters you don't really see in comic book movies. So I thought that was also interesting. And so I think they had a strong enough story. They really worked through the characters to give you, I wouldn't say it was great character development. I think it was more the impact. Patty Jenkins went for what she felt when she thinks about Wonder Woman, how she will feel, and she really did translate that onto the screen very well, so that a number of people could be impacted. I mean, this thing was potent, man. She mixed a nice brew right there. She dropped a nice brew down on everybody. She really did it. I think it's the most potent of the DCEU films so far. Even though I will say Suicide Squad's barroom scene was pretty potent itself, in a different sort of way, but it was pretty potent. It was pretty heavy, deep, very dramatic. That was good. That was good. And I mean, David Ayer in a very short period of time got you to like these characters, and they are all evil. They are all, well, not evil. They're all bad. Okay, they're all villains. And his debate was: is someone evil? What's the difference between evil and bad? You know what I'm saying? Again, always, every single movie you've seen so far in the DCEU has brought something to the table. Superman reinvented Superman. Made you think about all the difficulties he had to go through. Why being a hero sometimes needs time for you to develop, and sometimes you can't go ahead and just be saving people all the time. It asks the question, should you save everyone all the time? And can you? And you can't, right? With Batman v Superman, being a hero doesn't mean you get praised. You know, being a hero may put a big target spot on your chest. You may be framed, and people may try to kill you who are not really bad people, but they turn bad because of you. You remind them of bad things. You may have to give your life as a hero, and people may praise you after you've given your life. You know what I'm saying? Posthumously, like Heath Ledger. He's a hero. Yeah, he played a villain, but he's a hero. When we think about Suicide Squad, like I said, what's the difference between someone who's not redeemable and somebody who is redeemable, right? Wonder Woman comes up and now says, sometimes being a hero, even though you may be naive, is about holding on to what you believe. And in the end, Wonder Woman held on to what she believed, kind of like what Captain America did. But the difference between what she's doing and what Captain America was doing wasn't just about saving the world for her. It was about showing love. That was the difference. See, Captain America don't talk about that. Captain America killed everybody, right? She allowed Dr. Poison to live. Dr. Poison like scampered off, and you remember, Ares pulled Dr. Poison from wherever she was. He kind of just, I don't know how he did it, but like with the telepathic power or something, he just kind of telekinesis. He just pulled her from wherever she was hiding in front of Wonder Woman. It was really funny. By the way, Diana never was called Wonder Woman in that movie. I thought that was kind of cool too. With Man of Steel, Superman was called the Superman. You didn't hear Wonder Woman being called Wonder Woman at all, or the Wonder Woman, or anything like that. It's pretty interesting. Batman's called the Bat. He's not really called Batman. So I thought it was really interesting. Even though I think Perry White said Clark Kent takes on the Batman. I think he said something like that. Anyway, but I just see how Warner Brothers, they have been putting together a story, and they've been very consistent with that story. I don't get that with the MCU. The MCU, you can't say there's a consistent story or thread moving through the movies. You can say Iron Man is doing this and Iron Man is doing that, but what's the themes consistent through the MCU? You got none. And that's the thing with the DCEU. Their thread is not so much about linearity. When does a movie come and when does it come? Small-minded people will say, they're not in the right order. Wonder Woman should have come before, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever you want to say. But when thematically speaking, the DCU has a theme, and now they're coming back with, we have needs for heroes. Now we need a band of heroes. All right? And this is where the Justice League is going to form. So they've been exploring the theme, what is a hero? Throughout, if you haven't realized that by now. And then I don't know what they're going to move on to next, but I think that whole story about what is a hero will end with the last of the trilogy, which is Justice League. And then we're going to look at, origin stories of Aquaman, and we're going to talk about some other characters in the Justice League. And I think they want to do Justice League Dark, which I'm not interested in at all. In fact, I wasn't interested in Suicide Squad because of Enchantress. I was thinking that kind of stuff there, that witches stuff. I'm not really into that. So I'm not interested in Justice League Dark. But my point anyway is this. That, critics don't always understand why an audience may enjoy something. Now, what I don't like is the online media, how they take things at the critical reception and apply it as if everybody is the same way. Well, most people don't like Batman v Superman. Who told you that? Like, I was on a podcast with Ismo, and I like Ismo. I really do. I always check out her videos. She's so very pure. And she's like, I'm one of the few people who like the theatrical cut. Nope. You're one of many people who like the theatrical cut. Now, not a lot of people loved the theatrical cut. I'm one of them that loved the theatrical cut, and there's a bunch of other people. But a majority of people didn't love the theatrical cut, but most people liked the theatrical cut. They'd be like, yeah, I dig it. I was a little confused, but I liked it. Right? Most people will tell you they liked it. That's why on Rotten Tomatoes, it ain't rotten. Otherwise, believe you me, it would be rotten. Okay? And it wouldn't have made the box office if people didn't like it. And most people will tell you, I don't know what the critics were watching, but I didn't see. The critics, I think, were too hard on this movie, right? In fact, the average score for Batman v Superman, if I'm not mistaken, was 7.5 out of 10. Okay? By the average person. I think now it's a little bit lower. I think it's about 6.5 maybe. Maybe 7.0, somewhere there. But the bottom line is this. At the end of the day, most people thought they enjoyed it. And that's weird to hear because the movie was not that funny. It had one or two jokes in there, but it was not a funny movie. It was more about a drama. I couldn't get enough of it. I'm just telling you guys. I loved that movie. I'm not a Zack Snyder worshiper, and I ain't no blind-minded person. Okay, I'm a very intelligent person. But I'm just telling you guys right now, I love that movie. I love it. I have it on DVD. I have it as a digital copy on my computer, on my laptop right now. I'll pull it up every now and then and watch it. I don't mind watching 3 hours of that thing. I just don't mind. I enjoy the movie that much. I really do. But I do have to have time to watch it for 3 hours. Sometimes I break up and then go do something and then come back and watch the movie. But hey, great movie, man. I love it. It's one of the greatest comic book movies for me of all time. Let me tell you my favorite comic book movies. And I think the dude who says race movies suck or some kind of thing like that, I really vibe with him really nicely because he also likes the kind of movies I like. The kind of movies I like are, I like Unbreakable. When we're talking comic book movies, Spider-Man. Not The Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. The very first Spider-Man. I love that movie. I love Batman 1989. Okay? I like Batman v Superman. Watchmen. The director's cut. I love it. Okay? And with Batman v Superman, let me just... Which Batman v Superman I really like more? I like the Ultimate Cut, obviously, more. Because it flushes out some things. And there's some things it just didn't say in the theatrical cut. But, don't get it wrong, the theatrical cut is damn good. I said it was a solid movie. I never thought it was the greatest movie of all time, the theatrical cut. But the Ultimate Cut, hell yeah. Alright, when it comes to some other movies, some other comic book movies, let me see if I can remember anymore. What else, boy? Captain America. How could I forget that? Captain America, the First Avenger. My favorite Captain America film. I don't care what anybody says. That is my favorite Captain America film. Winter Soldier doesn't beat it, as far as I'm concerned. And Civil War, hell no. Alright? Civil War doesn't touch it. Okay? The best Captain America film I have ever seen was Captain America, the First Avenger, because he actually was Captain America. All those other movies are about Bucky. I don't give a damn about that. I want to see Captain America be Captain America. His name is Captain America. So he cares about America. And that's the most patriotic first film. I definitely got Captain America down perfectly. And I love how the ending of that film was. It's just fantastic. So, yeah, that's Captain America, the First Avenger, is one of my favorite Marvel movies. I'm not really fond of Iron Man, so I'm not going to put him there. But Iron Man is a special movie. Don't get it twisted. It's very special. I'll put Iron Man in there. What else? What other comic book movie? Man of Steel was damn good. So I got to put Man of Steel up in there. X-Men. Oh my God, I forgot X-Men. Logan. Shoot. First of all, Logan got to be in there. Logan's got to be in there. And is it the very first X-Men? No, the second X-Men, I think it was. The second X-Men with Nightcrawler. Yeah, that X-Men. I love that X-Men. That was my favorite X-Men actually. The second one, I think X2. X-Men United. Yeah, gotta have that. You gotta have X-Men up in there. Days of Future Past, it was good. No. Apocalypse, nope. It's not a bad box office for me. So yeah, I'm just telling you when it comes to the best. Oh, did I? Nah, I think I did. I said Watchmen, right? The director's cut. All right. The theatrical cut wasn't bad, but I like the director's cut more. So yeah. Yeah, that's about it really. All the other movies are kind of mismatches in my opinion. Winter Soldier, I wasn't really... See, people like action scenes and stuff. For me, I go on story. That's why Suicide Squad would never make it. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 would never make it. Guardians of the Galaxy would never make it. Because I don't care about characters like that. I care about story. I care about plot. So, not even Wonder Woman makes that list. Okay? So, and Wonder Woman's got a good story, it's got a good plot. Actually, no, it does make the list because Man of Steel's there, so therefore Wonder Woman's got to be there. But I will say that, let me see what else. What other MCU film is good? Iron Man was good. Captain America, the First Avenger, was damn good. I have Cap above Iron Man. Spider-Man. Did I say Spider-Man already? I did. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I don't have the Avengers as one because I didn't really like the Avengers. My brother really was hyped on it. It was all these different characters coming together. Joss Whedon, he did his thing. But I can't put that as number one. You gotta have a good story. You understand what I'm saying? You have the good story. Story first, then characters after. You know what I mean? Spider-Man did it for me, man. Spider-Man was just great. Tobey Maguire. Oh my gosh, that was great. Spider-Man 2 was not bad either. But the very first one was great. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that with you guys. That's my taste in comic book movies. The Life of Pi was a great story in my opinion. It was good movie as well, but it wasn't a comic book movie. I heard that what's the other one? Jungle Book was good too, but I've seen Jungle Book like 100 million times. I don't really care about that movie. The first Jungle Book was good, but yeah. Anyway, forget about that. So yeah, so when I'm looking at comic book movies, that's what I'm talking about. But Unbreakable is way up there. I mean, Unbreakable is like one of my favorite comic book movies, and it's so realistic at the same time. They really merged that thing into realism that to this day, man, Unbreakable's been around for quite a minute, right? And still up there in the top comic book movies of all time. How Samuel L. Jackson played Mr. Glass, and how the guy who his bones couldn't break. Oh man, Bruce Willis. I love it. I heard that the guy who was playing many different personalities, I forgot what the name of the movie is. You should go check that out too. I think it's in line with Unbreakable and stuff. I'll check it out. I haven't really checked it out yet, but Unbreakable, man, is a classic. Oh, did I forget Dick Tracy, man? Dick Tracy. That was another really good movie. Really good movie. And there was a lot of killing and death and stuff in that. You know who was acting in that? Madonna. Madonna was a villain in that movie. You believe this thing? Yeah. Dick Tracy. That was a good movie too. So they have a couple of them. Yeah. Batman Returns was also a good one with Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito. Again, it's Tim Burton, so it's gonna look a little bit, horrific and stuff. And there was some horror elements in it, but I dig it. I loved it. It was dark as hell. It had some dark humor too, but I liked it. Unfortunately, Tim Burton never got to do no more Batman. They was like, you way too violent as a Batman. I was like, what? The same thing that they said about what's his name? Wow, I just completely forgot his name. Snyder. Yeah, Zack Snyder. How his Batman is too violent. He's killing people. But he had a reason, right? He had a reason for killing people in Batman v Superman. Well, man, they said there was just too much killing, man. It was PG-13, yeah, but damn. When Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman character, she just, like Selena Kyle, she just fried up, she fried up that dude, man. She gave him a kiss and shocked the daylights out of him. He was just a skull and skeletons, man. The Penguin was dead. Batman threw him through a roof. Look, man, folks, I'm just saying, a lot of people don't understand, in this kind of political environment, there's a lot of people who play politics, but there's some damn good movies that came out, man. And you got to Warner Brothers always been sort of raw-ish and very realistic about what they do. I like Marvel. I definitely was satisfied with Guardians of the Galaxy. I only watched it once. I didn't watch it twice. Wonder Woman I want to watch again. I might even, if Guardians of the Galaxy is still playing in the cinema, I might go back and watch it if I got some money. But again, it's not a movie that you need to watch more than once to get it. You know what I'm saying? Wonder Woman, there's still some little pieces and some information I need to get. I also saw that there was, guys, you should go check out this thing. Groot and Rocket, their relationship before the movie came out. There's a nice piece on that. And Groot, I am Groot. I am Groot. That's so clever, man. It's so clever. I am Groot. It's a whole, vocabulary and stuff. But you should go check out the history. It's online. I think you can find it on YouTube, where they actually have an animated story on Rocket and Groot, so you can understand it a little bit more. I saw it and I was like really into it. I'm really into Guardians of the Galaxy now. I'm really into it now. I'm really into that stuff. I'm telling you, I'm going to start reading Marvel books like crazy just now. I want to get into Marvel a little bit and into some other things too. IDC comics, and Archie comics and stuff. I want to get into those because I really Guardians of the Galaxy is special, man. It's got something there. James Gunn, put out something that it's over the top. It's really ridiculous. I'm not really a big fan of the man with the what do you call those things, man? The Infinity Crystals, dude. The man. I almost got his name. I can't remember his name. Anyway, they showed him in Guardians of the Galaxy, the big baddie of the universe. Darkseid is the DC big baddie, and this guy, what's his name? I know his name. I know your name. I just can't. It happens to me, man. I slip. But you guys can just leave his name in the comment section below. The big baddie who the Infinity Wars is going to be against him. Well, to be honest, man, he didn't look that great in Guardians of the Galaxy. Somebody was defending how he looks. I didn't find him that great looking. But, I would like to see how it unfolds and see him use his powers and stuff. And that would be awesome, But Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't about him per se. It's coming to me. His name will come. Yes. It's not about that. It's about these people and their relationship with each other and in a relationship with other people. And it's really just so, as the name says, it's about the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? And it's so funny. It really is it's a funny movie. I think that's the thing. Because I really wasn't into the first one. And then when the second one came back out, some of those jokes just landed for me. And I was like laughing my butt off. And I was like, why am I laughing? This ain't funny. But it is. So, I like Marvel. I like Marvel films. Some of them. Not all of them. Because I can't take too much Marvel. I really can't. There are too many jokes. And slapstick humor and just jokes for joke's sake. I can't really take that. But it's still, it's all right. It's all right. It's got its own reality. You know what I mean? It's not. None of the movies I ever feel are realistic. I always feel like I'm in some kind of fake reality. Even all the Captain America, so-called grounded Russo films, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and Captain America: The First Avenger, didn't really feel grounded to me. It was nice to see fancy stunt work and kicking and stuff. That was all fancy and everything. But it reminded me of Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys 1. It was supposedly grounded in reality, but it didn't feel real. It felt like a whole set of Hollywood stars featuring in a movie. That's what it felt like. So when I see a Marvel film, that's what I feel. I don't feel the character. Like, yeah, I know Captain America's in the movie, and I call him Captain America, and Chris Evans is Captain America. I know that. But, he feels like Captain America, but it still feels like a movie. It doesn't feel like it would be something real. That's the difference. And I don't like that. I like reality. I'm a realist. So those films don't really appeal to me. You guys have a great one, alright? Have a good one.